This is Black Westchester presents the People Before Politics radio show. We're on every Sunday 6 to 8 on intermixradio.com. This is a series of shows that we do pre-election editions where we try to bring as many of the candidates that are running in the elections. Lorraine, who do we have here?
Okay, today we have Mr. Well, I call him Judge because he was already a judge.
Okay.
Judge Richard Sweeney, who's running for Yonkers City Court Judge, which happens to be the same position that our candidate Lisa Best.
Right.
Karen Best.
Karen Best.
Why do I keep saying Lisa? Oh, because
we have a
Lisa's
friend
in the room.
Oh, that
Lisa in the cook.
No, but we do have a friend of the show, Lisa Best.
Lisa Best,
yes.
one of my best friends. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, Karen Best. I'm sure I'm not going to remember her name again, but it's the same seat that she's running for. There's 3 candidates running, and there's Karen Best, Judge Sweeney, and another candidate that we'll have in a future show.
Who'll be on next week.
Who's coming on next week.
Well, first let me say thank you to both of you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Just to clarify, I'm a former judge. I'm not running for re-election. I haven't been elected, so I can't say re-elect. It's elect Richard Sweeney. I was appointed to fill a vacancy in 2010.
By the greatest man that ever lived, by the way.
Mayor Amicone. And
somebody you know pretty well.
I love him. He's the greatest man. I swear to God.
Tell us how you really feel.
I would take a bullet for him any day.
Okay.
That's how I feel. Okay, I'm sorry. But,
I just want to say, I don't want to sound like an impersonator, but I think Richard Sweeney is best for Yonkers City Court Judge.
You got it? Got it?
I like that.
I like that.
So Yonkers is your place. You set off the.
I'm sorry.
Set off the interview. You know what's going on in Yonkers?
Oh. Okay.
You're my Yonkers expert.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What party line are you on in it?
I'm on the Republican and Sam parties.
Yes.
Now, okay,
I'm a Republican.
I'm glad you said that. I mentioned Sam earlier. What is Sam? Everybody doesn't know what Sam is.
Yeah, what is that?
Well, understand, judicial candidates can't be political. I mean, I can state what lines I'm on,
right.
But what it stands for is Serve America Movement.
Okay, there.
I just have
to.
Yeah, you can Google that or
right.
Sam New York, and you can find out all about it.
Yeah,
they've endorsed. I don't know. I know it's only been a couple of years, but I know they endorsed several candidates this year, and there's some Westchester candidates running in elections that got the line this year.
I'm one of them.
Yes,
that's. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, me and Damon were talking about it on the show one day.
I need to start doing my homework.
Yeah, they're the new party right now.
Who runs it?
I don't know.
Mr. Sweeney?
All I can say is I don't know the national or state head, but the Westchester County is John Verne.
Okay, that's good enough. Wow.
So now, just so you served as.
I served as a Yonkers City Court judge. I was appointed to fill a vacancy. I did run that year and lost.
Okay.
So I liked it so much. Here I am again.
Okay.
I have. I'm running based on my experience. I'm 34 years as a lawyer.
I was just gonna say you're an attorney because I see you. Okay. Sometimes I have to go to Westchester County Courthouse for other people. Okay. For other reasons.
Get to the question.
And I see you. I see you there.
I'm always.
I see you there all the time.
That
was my point. Yeah. I see you there all the time.
Yeah, I regularly practice. I do criminal defense currently. I do felonies and misdemeanors. Just tremendous experience. I spent 16 years in the county attorney's office. 10 of them I was prosecuting juvenile delinquents. And that's part of my pitch. I was a prosecutor. I've done about 18 years as defense. And
it's funny when you were saying that you the criminal defense. I was reading prosecuted juvenile delinquents. That's not what it say here. So, but it's interesting that you worked on both sides of the coin.
That's right. That's why
to give you a good perspective of because usually most people running for judge
one side
is
or
only
the other.
on one side or the other.
Sure.
Usually, most of them is the ones that prosecute you. They usually become the judges.
Yeah. So I've done both, and that's what I say to audience sometimes. I've been a prosecutor. I'm a defense attorney. what should I do now?
Wait, but
Run for judge is the answer before you go ahead.
Okay. Prosecutor, what office?
County attorneys, not the DAs. It's a difference.
Okay. That's okay. I got confused.
County attorneys, their family court unit prosecutes juvenile delinquents, which is the same penal law sections you apply, but it's a different procedure, and particularly sentencing is different. When you have a juvenile delinquent, and if you're at the, we don't call it sentencing, it's disposition. The question is, what's in the best interest of the child, as opposed to criminal cases.
Got it.
Now, I saw that you, it says you wrote and reviewed Westchester County contracts.
Yes. I was in Westchester County for 16 years, 10 of them prosecuting JDs, 2 years paternity and child support, and 4 years contracts. While in contracts, well, this is the sexy part, but I was dealing with the sanitary sewer district modifications. I was enforcing the living wage law. That was part of it. They have attorneys who field questions on certain areas, and one of those was Ryan White funding, which is aid.
Ryan White.
Medical.
Yeah.
The
little boy. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Good for you.
Now because we want to ask all the questions here. So I see that you're a former president and board member of Westchester Disabled on the Move.
Yes.
And then under the part it says personal life been blind since 28 years old.
That's correct.
I know when people lose one of their senses, their other senses are
Spidey sense kicks in.
That's true. I didn't think so at first. When I first lost my sight, I thought, I don't feel any difference. But then one time I'm walking solo to a curb, and it's just kind of a game. I was guesstimating on what the distance was, and I thought it was like 15 feet, and it turned out to be about more like 30 to 40. And that tells me my hearing got better, because before, when I had my eyesight, I was using all of my senses, my sight and hearing, and then I used to be a good judge of distance. But now I know it's, if I'm thinking it's 15, it's probably 30. But that tells me better hearing. That's
I bring that up for the obvious questions. Just one might ask, how are you able to sit on a bench and make
be a judge
when you can't see maybe the people that you're ruling against?
So he can't judge them.
Oh, but I can.
So let him finish.
And I have done it. And understand, I served for 3/4 of a year.
Right.
There's different ways you adjust, but first let me say, I have a screen reader on my computer. I type my own motions. I do my own legal research. Right. I have legal assistants working with me too. What they do is, they'll read me, say the prosecutor gives us some discovery, and they type out the set of facts that they intend to prove at trial. So I'll have my assistant read that to me. I'll type it in, and I put it in the motion. And, of course, as a defense attorney, then I attack it. But I'm saying I can do the research. I can do the writing. I can even have a scanner scan the documents, and I could be completely self-sufficient that way.
Well, you've actually done it.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah.
And there's the saying that Lady Justice is blind, and sometimes she peeks under the blindfold.
Well,
usually, and we're all human. Even the best of people that we want to be and say we are, we sometimes judge people by what we see before we even meet them and hear them.
Well, I can guarantee you I won't judge anybody how their looks.
Right, that's what I said.
Absolutely
you do not
irrelevant.
have that. You will never have that problem.
Absolutely not. Yeah. But here's an interesting aside, kind of. We're using Lady Justice as our symbol on our palm cards, and of course, Lady Justice is a blindfolded person. And I say, well, that's perfect for me. That's a perfect symbol. Now, my opponent is using Lady Justice, a person who's holding the scales. And I'm thinking, why? Why would she have a blindfolded person? And of course, it came to me. It's because it's a woman. That's my opponent.
Right.
She's using it because Lady Justice is a lady.
Right.
I'm using it because Lady Justice is blindfolded.
Right.
So we're using the same symbol.
Lorraine,
Yes.
questions. Come on.
Every time I try to say you silence me.
Well, I can just talk.
Go ahead.
As far
talk,
as being blind, okay, basically it's a matter of adaptation, as anyone who loses their eyesight is. So, for example, at a trial, the prosecutors, they start off, it's their burden of proof, and they'll ask the police officer, okay, tell us what happened. And then the officer tells them, and then the DA says, do you see that person who did that in this court? Please point to him and tell the court what he or she is wearing. Now, how am I going to see where he's pointing? I can't. So I ask a few additional questions. Now, officer, the person who's asking those questions, who is that? That's the prosecutor. Okay, and at the table over there to the left, who's there? There's the attorney, and there's the defendant, the person who did what I just said he did. So it's just an adaptation. That's all. I have to ask some very specific questions, which the prosecutor or defense might not think of. But that's. I had another case, traffic. By the way, Yonkers City Court does traffic, small claims, landlord-tenant, and criminal. The largest part being the criminal. And I've served as an attorney in all of those, and I've served as a judge in all of those. But here's a traffic case. Okay, so a police officer is positioned a little bit away from a stop sign, and he says he sees this person run through a stop sign. The defendant, the person who supposedly ran through the stop sign, says, "No, I didn't," and the police officer couldn't have seen me do that. And now the incident took place in February. And the defendant shows a photograph saying, which shows lots of bushes and really that the area was blocked, that the officer couldn't have seen it. But now think about that. Incident in February, and there's lots of bushes. Sir, when was the photo taken? In July.
Right.
So, I could discard that wasn't evidence. Any photograph has to be valid as of the time of the incident, and it wasn't.
Right. If one of our co-hosts, Charles Stearns, he's a guest co-host sometimes. Mm-hmm. He wanted to know. He asked, "How did you get through law school without sight? How was that?"
Well, I became blind at 28. I finished law school, I think, when I was 25 or so.
I figured that, so then, when I saw the question,
That's the answer to that question, Charles.
It's tough, and people do it, though. Some call me up, to ask questions. And,
now, on a personal note, other than the candidate stuff,
mm-hmm.
was the transition hard? I mean, I can only imagine, you had sight and then all of a sudden you don't have sight.
Sure, I was driving and I had to give that up. I think if I miss anything, it's driving.
Right.
It was tough, very tough.
With these tickets today,
dealing with the courts and that whole, you had to go through things a little differently than you were doing.
I have to say, all of the judges I've ever appeared before have been so accommodating.
Okay.
Sometimes I usually have assistants working with me. But suppose one calls in sick. What am I going to do? Well, I go. I can't not go to court. I'm a solo practitioner. I have to go to court. So
you had a very, very good oh my God, what's the word?
Assistant?
No. People like you.
Oh.
People like you.
That shouldn't be that hard to figure out.
What is? Oh my God, I lost the word. Reputation. God, I love you, Luke. Yes. Yeah, very good reputation out there. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, and more ways than one. You have a reputation for being a kind man, good, decent man, a good attorney, a good judge. I've honestly, I've never heard anything but nice things just about you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
I haven't either, but maybe some people are quiet. I don't know.
So why are you the best candidate to vote for on November 5th for Yonkers City Court Judge?
I think my experience counts for a lot. And like I said, 34 years, former Yonkers City Court judge, I've done the job. And I've been an administrative law judge for the Westchester County Human Rights Commission. And currently I'm a trial attorney. I know the processes and procedures. I go through them every day, both in county court and in local city court. So I think vastly I have that experience. I have a tremendous amount of community service I've done over the years. I've mentored students in moot court with Gordon High School when my son was going there. I was involved in the J-Law project, which is where we go in and talk to school children ages, not ages, but grades 4 and 5. I had prosecuted juvenile delinquents, so that's right down my alley. Just letting them know what the law is, what you can do, what you can't do. You can't palm that piece of candy. You could go, before the juvenile court. So Westchester Disabled on the Move, Inc., former president, secretary, Access Westchester, Inc., which helps build playgrounds for all children, including disabled.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's nice.
We put things in that disabled children can use. So many things. Yonkers Lions Club, former member East Yonkers Rotary. I don't even remember all the things. In fact, I had to cut things from my palm card, and it's twice the size of everybody else's. I've written articles. Yonkers Rising back in 2011. I was judge in 2010.
Murphy?
Dan Murphy. I was judge in 2010, and it takes a long time to get a private practice running. So I had a little extra time. So what I do is look up Yonkers cases for older ones, at least pre-1960.
Like cold cases?
Yeah. But what I would do is the first week I would say, here's the facts, guilty or not guilty. And then the next week, because it's a weekly, next week I would give the answer and why. So it was fun. It was interesting. Yes, you're asking me why me. Okay, so community service, author.
Excuse me.
My blindness is not an impediment, never has been.
You know what? Good for you. Really, that's something to really admire.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people could feel sorry for themselves or be afraid to take the next step or be afraid to and you don't let nothing stop you.
I'm a moderator on a Facebook group, Blind and Visually Impaired Support Group. So, we have a lot of people who, they get depressed sometimes. They say, look, I'm depressed. And, 30, 40, 50 people will, say something nice. So
Cool. That's good. It's always good to have a good support system. Yep.
Yeah.
And you're a moderator, so that's nice, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you give back in many ways, I see.
Cicely Grieve said to please give you her best wishes and tell you she said hello.
Okay, hello to Cicely.
She said, I remember when I came in front of you for a minor ticket incident, your reaction was one of surprise, but you were very fair and non-biased, which I really appreciated.
Well, thank you, Cicely.
So, any other questions, Lorraine? My Yonkers go-to.
I think he answered all the questions other than what makes you a better candidate than the other two ladies that are running.
Yes, we are limited, though, I should say, the judicial rules of ethics. If we violate them, and there's a lot of ways to violate them, then even if we win the election, we could be taken off the bench by the Judicial Ethics Committee. So,
Wow.
So we do have to
Wow.
be careful, no politics, I can't answer hypotheticals. There's just
You can't go to political fundraisers, right?
No.
No.
There's no...
As a candidate, you can, but not as a judge.
Yes, there's a window period where
Yeah.
we're allowed to go, but they're very strict with that, too. You can't go to, events that cost more than $250 per plate.
You can't voice your opinion other than that of the
You can't.
Judgeship.
I can't support a person. We go to the dinner. Just
Yeah.
we get to shake hands and hand out palm cards.
So, right now we're in a social media era.
Yes.
Being blind affects you not being able to do things like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, or?
Well, I do Facebook.
Okay.
I have an iPhone 10. I use VoiceOver. It reads everything. If I hadn't shut off my phone, it might take a little while to turn on.
Right.
I could show you, or if you're really interested, I could turn it on.
Right.
I'm afraid what'll come up with. But I can participate. I do participate, and like I said, there's the Facebook group.
That's many ways.
There's 7,000 people on the group. So
technology today
is amazing. It really is. And
one of our listeners asked that, and I was like, I don't know. How does it? Okay.
I haven't conquered Twitter yet, what's the other one? Instagram. Well, we do have an Instagram account. My manager Luke Sweeney handles that. I think it's elect_Richard_
He really takes care of you on social media. I'll tell you that much.
F_Sweeney. I don't know, for judge, I think. We have Facebook, Richard Sweeney Campaign for Yonkers City Court Judge. We have a website, Richard Sweeney for Judge. Common theme, all of them.
Right.
You do a search, you'll find it.
You know what? I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm a Republican because of Amiconi. And I'm not a Trump Republican. Are you a Trump Republican?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because I can't answer it. That's political. I can't be political.
Holy crap, you are so safe. Oh, wow, okay.
See,
all right.
That's what I was talking about before.
Okay, that's a perfect example of what you can and cannot. Okay, I'm glad I asked that.
I was going to ask you a
Dude,
similar question, but you probably still have the same response.
Yeah.
I was like, in this era of Trump, a lot of people are having problems pulling the lever with the the R next to your name.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel that'll affect you in the election?
I don't really want to comment. It's dangerous to comment.
Right.
I hope people do, and if they don't like Republican, there's the Sam line. I'm on the Sam line.
Right.
Yeah.
So I should look that up, Sam of New York, or you'll find out all about it.
Right.
7:34 p.m.
See, it works.
You listening to that?
Yeah.
Well, I said it fast because I don't know. I hear faster. I'm not sure.
That's your superpowers.
Anything I haven't asked you that you want people to know?
Just want people to know that I can do the job, and I've done it before.
And you have a son?
I have a son, yes. Graduated Gordon 2016, I think.
Yeah.
We have a whole Sweeney team, Team Sweeney.
Wait, so I'm going through your thing. You were an Ironman triathlete.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Wow.
Yes, it was a little while ago in the late 90s. I lost my eyesight in 87. I guess I had something to prove. So I did the local Westchester one. It's a little easier than it is now, but I think it was a half-mile swim and then a 20-mile bike. I had a tandem bike.
Holy crap.
With the swim, I had somebody who, years and years ago, I was a lifeguard. So I know a few swimmers. So one old friend from my lifeguarding days would swim ahead of me, would tell me, if I'm going off course or anything. And a tandem bike, two-seater. My brother was on the other side. I've got two brothers, and then my other brother would do the 4-mile run with me. So
wait, so you did this after you lost your sight?
After I lost my sight, yes.
Well, that's even
how
more.
freaking impressive
that's
is that?
even more.
Really?
I was just saying, how a whole bunch of candidates can say they've been in the Ironman.
Everything he just said made me so tired.
Right. I'm just saying, just having your sight, there's a lot of people can't say they've been through that race.
Well, there's more, actually. The Yonkers Marathon is coming up.
Oh, you're going to run it?
I'm not going to do the marathon. I'm going to do a 5K. I'm only going to do the 3.2 miles.
Okay. Oh, well, that's good. Oh, my God, the hills.
I know, that worries me, too. I've never run the course. So.
Good for you. You're not doing the whole thing. God.
Walking up some of the hills in Yonkers it tires me out sometimes. You talking about running.
Me driving my car up a hill tires me out.
Yes.
For real.
Wow, that is very impressive. I'm kind of at a loss for words. I was like, because I assumed that this was before you lost your sight until you explained it. I'm like, oh wow, that was even more impressive.
More examples of adapting.
Yo, that's perseverance, determination, commitment.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, nice, impressive.
Well, if you like what you heard, vote for
Richard Sweeney.
Richard Sweeney. He's giving you his social media, Richard Sweeney for Judge. Yes, if you want to contact him, definitely Google him. We want to thank you for coming. We try to get as many of the candidates on
Yes. Thanks for
before
having
the
me.
election.